It's now falling apart for the Albanese government. In the past 24 hours, miners and farmers have declared war on it. Many are furious that it's now wiping out whole businesses for the most bizarre or ideological of reasons. Live sheep exports banned, a uranium mine banned, gas and coal companies belted, a gold mine effectively banned for secret Aboriginal business. And by the way, there's an amazing development on that, which I'll get to, that should embarrass the Environment Minister. Well, last night, the head of the Minerals Council, Tanya Constable, she let Prime Minister Anthony Albanese have it, right to his face at the industry dinner in Canberra. The gloves are off. She said, "You could forgive our industry for feeling like it is under siege or even punished for its success. Australian mining has faced a steady stream of restrictive policy interventions from a series of reckless industrial relations changes and royalty raids, complex regulatory changes, and the looming threat of onerous and arbitrary environmental approvals. Prime Minister, the environmental approvals process must be sorted out." And on she went. This was an open revolt from a mining industry that has for too long just taken it in the neck, but can't afford to anymore. And today, the same themes were at a farmers' rally outside Parliament House, one organised by the National Farmers Federation. It's furious about the government's alleged anti-farmer ideology, and farmers there were particularly angry at the government's decision to shut the live sheep export trade in Western Australia, as the opposition leader noted.
Mines with proper approvals closed down. Farms who have for generations worked hard, have built an asset, have been involved in a legal industry, are now being told that there is no future for you. And I think the Prime Minister should revisit his decision not to be here with us today, to come down and say to you that the Albanese government has made a terrible mistake.
Now, this incompetent government is surrounded by fires, it now seems. They include protests over its global warming policies that have jacked up power prices and helped to kill off our nickel industry, while also vandalising our countryside. There's also a brawl with the Reserve Bank governor, with the Treasurer blaming her and not the government for pancaking the economy. And today, in fact, there was another devastating insight into the government's mindset, which might help explain how we've been getting poorer per person over the past year and a half, and why the mining industry is now in revolt. More astonishing revelations about how thoughtlessly this government crippled that billion-dollar gold mine in New South Wales, plus some more stuff that you haven't yet been told until now. Now, you already know that Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek banned that mine's critical tailings dam, saying it was on sacred Aboriginal land, although the local traditional owners group said, no, it wasn't, said the evidence was fake. Plibersek ignored them, she ignored department advice, and listened instead to a small group of dissidents identifying as Aboriginal who said the site was sacred for reasons Plibersek says, a secret. Now, I've told you before that one of those people who formally objected to the mine, claiming to be a local Wiradjuri elder, is actually an artist who used to say she belonged to a different tribe through one very distant Aboriginal ancestor in the 1820s, would you believe? But let's now look at Lisa Payton. She's a director of the group of dissidents Plibersek says helped convince her, the Wiradjuri Traditional Owners Central West Aboriginal Corporations, about 18 of them. The Australian today says Payton once claimed that every single creek and river in the Shire was sacred, even dried out waterways. They all had deep spiritual significance, which suggests that Plibersek might actually be wrong to say the mine could easily move its tailing dam somewhere else. What isn't sacred there? But this same Lisa Payton actually sent in another objection to the mine, this time offering a whole lot of different arguments against it. In this one, she only briefly mentioned sacred sites. That was in about 2 sentences and 2.5 pages. No, her main objection in this one was that the mine was supposedly the site of the Bathurst Wars between Aborigines and whites 200 years ago. She said, it should be treated with the same respect as locations of other major historical battles, such as Gallipoli and the Battle of the Somme in World War I, which is already utterly ridiculous. I mean, we're not talking now about sacred sites. This is just a joke of a reason to ban a gold mine. I say a joke because the so-called Bathurst Wars weren't. They were Aborigines attacking a few white drovers as settlers shooting back, and Governor Thomas Brisbane then sending in the troops to end the fighting, which he reported his soldiers did without bloodshed. The governor estimated the total deaths of this war, supposedly on a par with Gallipoli and the Somme, as 7 Europeans and about twice that number of Aborigines, so just over 20 in all. And here's the weird twist. One of this Lisa Payton's own ancestors was in fact a British soldier in New South Wales around that time, later an official and a settler, a Lieutenant Thomas Palmer. But Payton has apparently now discovered she's Aboriginal and says this gold mine should be stopped because this area is significant to my personal journey in discovering my Aboriginal heritage. Nice for her, but what is it to us? And which part of this fantastic story helped convince Tanya Plibersek to effectively block this gold mine and its 800 jobs? What made Plibersek think that this Payton was a reliable authority for this decision to cripple a $1 billion mine? This government is a joke, and it is no wonder that a lot of people, and not just miners, are now wondering what the hell it's up to.